Aloha, flow
Oh, wait.
riders. What?
We didn't set up your scene.
All good, all good, all good. Look, I like that look right here though. Let's let it run. There we go. Mm-hmm.
Well, for everyone, that's just so that you know, we were running a bit behind and we decided to just go before we even did our tech check. And that's why that happens. Life happens. There you go, Doc. Take it away.
Hey, it's here's something funny because on my screen and my output, everything looks fine. Do you see? Does my camera look like it has that portrait thing, which is weird because it doesn't on my side, or
It,
is it just I'm tripping?
no, it does. You look like extra blurred, but more than anything, I'm seeing a sync issue with your audio and everything. You want to just try to call right back?
Um, here I'm this camera real quick. If this work, all right, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Yo, that's super weird because I don't have that thing turned on any way, shape, or form. Like my monitors look perfectly fine.
Yeah, but your mic sync or your mic delay is way off right now as well.
It's weird.
That's why I said I think
Crazy
you should just
because
try to call right back.
all right, hold on.
I'll keep my face on screen and keep everyone here entertained. As you can see, that this is exactly what we do, tech check every single day. So this is a bit of a behind the scenes that you're getting to see of the flow. Right now, we're just waiting for Doc to call right back in. And as soon as he does, he should pop right back into that screen where I have him set up for it. And here he is.
Boom, boom, boom.
Much better. There you go.
Yeah, it's so weird though. I wonder where that softness is coming from because I definitely don't have that mess turned on at all. That is crazy.
It's not in camera, right?
Nope. And I don't use that craziness at
From
all.
Apple, right?
Yeah. Actually, for my computer, I think I have it like turned off on the system level. Cause like I can only see my mic setting. I don't even see my camera settings. Well, and I think it has to do with the fact that I use the deck link.
Okay.
So crazy.
But at this point, I would also like to say that I don't think it
Yeah, it
looks
doesn't matter
bad.
because I'm recording. I'm recording. All right,
Exactly.
let's roll. All
So we're
right,
just
so
gonna roll with it. There you go. Take
all
it
right,
away.
riders. You know what it is. I totally forgot about that. I'm like, you know what it is, riders. We're just gonna do this here thing, and then I'm recording on my end, so nobody bring it up. Then we'll be good to go. All right. Uh, so and again, the thing about the sync situation, that's not Ecamm at this point in time. I know for a fact because I'm perfectly fine on my end, and we are recording this. So Luis gets the raw file to edit. So if it looks weird on the internet, it's the internet tripping. Hawaii might be having internet issues for the simple reason that there's this thing they call hurricane. It could be doing who knows what to the internet. So we don't care. Like it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get into this. And I'm going to just remind you that please put your cues in front of your questions. I will probably take them in line, but if not, I'll do them at the very end. And then, yeah, I'm going to breathe it out. Get ready to start the recording. And here we go. The flow, season 3000 in 1 second. 5, 4, 3. Aloha, Flow Riders, and welcome to another edition of The Flow. I am your lovely host, Doc Rock. Today I'm flying solo, like solo to the ground. You won't even recognize me. Anyway, no, let's not do Tom Buck jokes today. I'm flying solo. Katie is enjoying a little bit of R&R, a little vacay, and she'll be back next week to kick it with us. But for now, let's go ahead and do these things. Okay. Today, we're going to be talking about increasing your on-camera presence. Now, here's something that comes up in the community like pretty much every day. I can do a show, right? I can record a video, and the first question is, oh my God, like, how do you get your camera to look like this? Or how does your camera do this? Or how does your camera do that? And honestly, it kind of sort of doesn't matter as much as you think, right? What most people are doing is rushing to upgrade equipment. And I've seen people on broadcast television with billions of dollars of stuff, and the show is just steady lacking. Like it is just lacking, right? And where that comes from is you've definitely seen people, normally it's a celebrity who isn't used to live TV, maybe doing a live recording or doing an interview, and they just lack a certain presence, right? Or you see your favorite athlete or your favorite politician. One of my most hilarious ones, which is funny because it turns out that the person actually has an amazing personality. So he was doing it on purpose because he was super irritated at having to speak to the media. But if you remember Marshawn Lynch, aka Beast Mode, he would do press conferences after, like, Seahawks or Raiders games, and they would ask him a question. He'd be like, "Yeah, no, okay," and then he would just walk away and leave. Those interviews were just terrible. They were terrible. They were terrible. But turns out, dude's a comedian. He's actually pretty funny, and he's on a TV show on Netflix with what's his name? Will from Smartless. Will Arnett. Yeah, I think that's his name. Anyway, yeah. So he would be with Will Arnett, basically hilarious, like really, really funny cat, right? So it goes to show that even someone with the skills can have a bad camera day. I think Beast Mode was just legit doing it on purpose because he hated talking to the media. He just wanted to play football. But you've definitely seen athletes, politicians, other people that come in the news, like when the news camera in your, riddle me this question real quick before we dive into how to increase your camera presence. Does your local news team seem to go out and just find the worst on-camera people to interview whenever they have to interview somebody about something that's going on in your neighborhood? Today, family, we just opened a brand new Piggly Wiggly here over in Martindale, and let's go over and talk. What's your name? Louise. Luis, what? Luis Vega. Luis, what do you do? I make videos on the internet. Like, you ever seen that interview on the news? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's talk to you about how to not have this problem for your show. There's a couple of tips that you can do. This is legit a practice that you will have to put some effort into. It is, some people say, oh, so-and-so is a natural on camera. Yeah, not really. Don't believe that. When you hear people say that something is quote unquote natural, it's almost providing a cop out for everybody else, or it's taking away that person's ability. Like, well, that doesn't take it away, but it sort of lessens that person's ability, right? So yeah, you don't want to lessen a person's ability, right? If someone's taking the time to get good at a particular task, we want to sort of recognize that. I really, really hate when someone says that someone is quote unquote talented. That's like stealing the fact that they did tons of work to get to be that good. Like, rarely, if ever, is something exactly natural, unless it's a physical thing where your body can just bend in a position that somebody else doesn't bend, right? Okay, so let's get into it. One of the first things that's going to be super important is knowing why on-camera presence matters. First of all, on-camera presence has a lot to do with bringing your credibility to the table, right? If you could be the absolute smartest person in the world about your subject matter, you could be the world's greatest scientist, and your credibility is not the same. When you want to learn something about astrophysics, they go to Neil deGrasse Tyson because Neil has mastered the on-camera presence. Neil has mastered the ability to make it so that regular people will be engaged in what Neil is talking about, right? So that is why he is the go-to astrophysicist, whereas other astrophysicists will come in with their, slide rule calculator in the pocket and be like, well, once the stars were mapped out by ancient Mesopotamians, and therefore with the quadrilateral indices of the elliptical Earth, with the paths of the transcend, and then like everybody's like, what? Oh my God, this is out of here. This is out of here. Neil has found a way to bring what would be an otherwise complicated or slightly misunderstood and somewhat controversial conversation, bring that to the table and make it sort of legible, if you will. So on-camera presence will add to your credibility. It also increases your audience engagement because audience is more likely to sit there and listen to you if you have a decent on-camera presence. Okay. So one of the first things I want to say that is very important is you must absolutely, positively, 100% know your topic. Okay. Even if you're going to this as I'm going to be a brand new beginner about a particular thing, and I want to have you follow me on my journey as I learn it, you still need to know where you want to go and what you want to do. You can be the inquisitive bystander along on the journey, and you can talk to and bring in experts, and your general curiosity will be what carries that conversation. But if you are a SMEs, a subject matter expert, if you're coming in to talk about the thing that only you know, if you want to talk about the thing that you absolutely love, if you want to talk about your favorite TV show, you still need to kind of sort of know your topic. Okay. So here's a for instance, there's a brand new show that's on the Apple network and it's called Sunny. It's really good. It's a dystopian sci-fi type murder mystery, if you will. Even though it's a brand new show, no one's going to be an expert on Sunny except for maybe Rashida Jones. So you can still, as a fan of that, know when it comes on, who's in it, have discovered some of the actors, and start to get some biographical information on Annie the Clumsy, who is one of the actresses in the show with Rashida Jones. You could approach it from a level of fandom where you've taken some effort to study more than, say, the other person. And so let's say if there was a score for everything there is to know about Sunny being 100 and you could be 10, you could still record at 10 because there's some people jumping in at 0. So you're at least 10 above the 0. People will follow you on the journey, provided you can bring something unique to the table. Okay. So know your subject is important. Now, the other thing I would say, the next thing on this topic list that I put is you need to find a way to command your voice. And a lot of this has to do with your pitch, your tone, your pace, your style, your inflection, your diction, and even knowing when is a proper time to add a little bit of animation. We tease Alec about it a lot, but Alec can just sit here and have the entire conversation and barely move. His British accent carries the rest. So he can sit there with that stiff personality. I wish the dude would move around on camera a little bit more. And that's my buddy, right? It's just one of those things that you will oftentimes see the people that we think are a little stiff on camera are exactly stiff on camera. They're not moving, they're not adding, they're not commanding their voice. One of the things that you can do to command your voice is just break the pattern. So if you happen to speak in, say, pillars of three, like today, I'm going to talk a little bit about American football, and then we're going to talk about basketball, and then we're going to talk about baseball. You could still even break up that three. Today, we're going to talk about the United States' favorite sports. First, we're going to talk about football, and then we're going to go into a little bit about basketball. And last but not least, America's national pastime, the old baseball. Like, that's how you would break up and add a little style, a little tone, a little inflection, a little pitch. You could even add a little pitch, like what I just did. Like, raise your voice a little bit and bring it back down. Talk a little bit quicker and a little bit slower. Like, these things break up the monotony so you don't sound so monotonous. That's the word we're trying to break up. We're trying to break up the monotony. Having a little bit of pitch, style, tone in your voice will go a long way. Now, this one is difficult for me because I 110% believe this is a switch. It is a turn it on, turn it off type of switch. And people will have all kind of fights and reasons and excuses as to why they can't turn said switch on and off, but it's a switch, okay? I don't think you can learn how to be confident. I think you either are or you're not. And if you can confidently fight your inability to be on camera, that is a level of confidence in itself. I am confident in standing here and not flipping on the camera, right? I completely believe confidence is a switch, and I believe you can just make a decision and flip it on. And you can make a decision and flip it off. People say, come and learn how to be more confident. I want to call BS. I get a lot of fights about that, but it is. And the reason why you know this, because talk to that person one-on-one about the thing that they love, and you can't get them to shut up. But somebody told them, normally something that happened in school, stepping up to the board, or they come from a family where they are sort of just browbeat by everybody else. Everybody steps all over them or whatever. There's a lot of things that can steal your confidence, but I don't think it's a learned value. I think you turn it on, you turn it off, right? Talk to anybody about something that they're completely against, and they will confidently fight you for their position. Pretty much anybody. So I don't think, I just don't believe you can turn confidence on it. I mean, I don't believe you can, quote unquote, train yourself to be confident. You just turn it on and you turn it off when you feel like it. Simple as that. And I believe also the similar thing with nervousness. I think nervousness has to do with somebody at one point in time told you to shut up when you were trying to say something that you really wanted to say, and you have not been able to shake that ever since. But there's some things that you can do in order to increase, quote unquote, the ability to hit that switch. First one, go back to knowing your topic. If you know your topic, pretty much nobody can shut you up about anything. Ask Luis about some old school camera joints, or ask him about stand-up comedy. Like, he would just go. Like, you don't have to, he won't take you one breath. He's in there like swimwear, right? He can just get in there and talk about that. And this is where knowing your topic sort of helps out a lot. So again, taking away your nervousness and learning to basically be articulate as possible, and learning how to sit in your position like I own this joint, right? When you sit there like I own this mic, it will come out better. If you sit there like, oh, I'm timid, it's going to come off worse. It just is. And here's what I want to say. And I want you to write this down. If you skipped everything else in this episode, I want you to write this down. If you don't trust you, why should anybody else? If you don't trust you, why should I? Right? You're trying to get to that first 1,000 subs. You're trying to get to that 10,000 subs. You're trying to get to 20,000, right? You're trying to earn, let's say, $1,000 a month being a content creator. You're trying to earn 50,000 a month being a content creator. If you don't trust you, why should I? Like, legit, explain to me, if you don't trust you, why should I? Why should I trust somebody that you don't trust? That's the end of the whole damn show right there, family. Like, if you don't trust you, why should I? Super, super simple. Right? Super, super simple. So basically, some things that will help you with your general confidence. I strongly believe that if you have a fantastic sounding microphone, that actually adds a lot to your ability, right? I think because you know that your voice sounds incredible. I have definitely been in situations where I'm a guest on a different radio station or whatever, and the audio sounds funny, and I feel different about my conversation. So when your setup is proper, I believe it does add a little bit to your security. I don't want to call it confidence. I want to believe your security in the fact that this is just going to be good because I look good, I sound good. You know, there's a saying, this one company, I forget the name of it, but it says, look fresh, sound fresh. I believe that. I believe when you look fresh, you sound fresh. If you come in, you got your best looking fit on, just got your hair did, you know, your glasses are clean, your face is nothing in your teeth, different level of conversation. If you're sitting there worried about how you look or how you sound, that's going to mess with you a little bit. Now, getting past that is a different conversation, but I know that if you were to walk into a studio that was fully set up and working, and you know you could just sit down and do your thing, I believe for you it would come off a little bit different. I believe if somebody was driving for you, like today, Luis is driving for me, there's a different level of, I'm not worried about pressing any of this, so I'm not thinking about that. I can focus legit on talking to you about bringing this incredible camera presence, right? So I think a lot of times, if you're still feeling a little weird about it, maybe see if you can get a buddy to produce or a family member to produce or somebody else to press the buttons for you so you can take that off the table, and that might add to some of your confidence, okay? I still think it's very important that you learn how to drive by yourself, but in the beginning, if you're really having a rough time with it, maybe let somebody else press all of that so you don't have to think about it. And you can just sit here and discuss your killer points that you got to discuss. Okay, moving down along. I want to give you a couple of practical tips that you can do before you crack the mic. In the military, we had a system before we take a shot, and it was called bras, you know, similar to a over-the-shoulder boulder holder. And the acronym stands for breathe, relax, aim, squeeze. It's basically how to fire without like switching up and missing your target, right? So whenever you go to the range, especially when you're doing the situation where you're shooting in the prone, where you're laying on your stomach, you want to breathe, relax, aim, squeeze, okay? We're going to switch that up for camera presence. I still want you to breathe. I want you to breathe, right? I want you to relax. I want you to be prepared to articulate and then speak. Breathe, relax, get confidence on your articulation, and then speak. So same thing. So we're going to use the Bras method. You saw anybody who watches this show, 84 episodes deep. How do we start every show? Hit it with a woosah. I always take a deep breath. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the flow, right? You always got to give it a second to just calm it down. So before you crack the mic, calm it down. If you're doing an interview show and someone hits you with a difficult question, or you just want to be credible, it is perfectly fine to take a beat. Okay? If someone says to me, all right, Doc, I got this question yesterday from Katie. Katie said, I got a buddy of mine that wants to do a 2, maybe 3-person podcast. They have a budget of $200. Go. The first thing I would do if I'm doing this on camera is take a beat. I'm like, $200. Well, it seems to me that probably the best option would be a Zoom, ZOOM H4n, which is roughly $150 to $199, depending on where you buy it and which model you pick up. And they're all basically the same for this particular purpose. And the Pod Track, which is a 4-channel recorder similar to the Zoom. The primary difference is the Pod Track has no microphones. The Zoom has microphones on it. And then you'd want to go get 2 Samson Q2Us for the 2-person setup, which will come with everything they need, microphone, cable, the whole 9 yards. And with that, you can do a portable, on the road, 2-camera setup, and the whole thing will fit into a Tupperware box. Now, if they want to add that 3rd microphone, they're going to bust that $200 limit, just what it is. You basically add a 3rd Samson Q2U to the mix. In this case, if you know you're going to do that, the Pod Track could be better off because that will actually handle 4. And, you know, the Pod Track is $150. The Samson Q2Us are basically $70 a piece. So you're going to be at $210 plus $150 for a little bit over $300. Let's call it $360. You could absolutely build a 3-person mobile setup and you're gravy. Let it out. See? Simple. But take a beat, man. Like legit take a beat. And it's just like, all right, here we go. And just give it a second. I really will make a difference. If you nervously spit, I don't mean like this kind of spit. I mean like in the rhythmically spit. If you nervously just let things come out of your mouth, you will probably get yourself in trouble. So just take a beat, take a second, breathe it out. Good to go. A lot of people will use stall tactics. One of the biggest ones is the like really, really try to get rid of that. I have a saying in my world. I tell everybody, eat the ums. When I'm speaking on camera, you will rarely, if ever, hear me hit you with a or I do them in my head. Like wherever I want to go, I just go, and no sound comes out. You just like get it stuck back there. Like just don't let it come out of your head. You can totally do the same thing without ever making a sound. So everywhere where you want to take a pause between every other word, so you can think, you can just do the exact same thing without making an audible sound and give yourself a second to process. So then you can go ahead and spit out your words that you want to say, simple as pie. You can completely eat the ums. Learn to make them inaudible or just slow your talking down. A lot of times, if you slow your talking down and bring it to an Obama-like pace, you'll be perfectly fine and you will find you never This is something that lifelong stutterers learn how to do, is to control their breathing and slow down their talking speed to give their lips a chance to catch up with their brain. There you go. There you go. Okay, so this next one is going to be hard for some of you people. I'm going to tell you this, but this is a huge-ified difference in whether you come off good or not good. You have got absolutely, positively, 115%, you have got to have a positive mindset. And I know that kills some of y'all, but you have got to have a positive mindset. Back to the top. If you don't trust you, why should we? But whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on, I'm nervous, you're mother bumping nervous. If you focus on, I have no confidence on camera, you have no confidence on camera. If you focus on, I'm going to look like ish, you will look like ish. the way the brain works. Whatever you focus on expands. If you said to yourself, right now, I would like a large hot fudge sundae with dripping hot topping with cream, whipped cream, and nuts, and one of them fluorescent cherries on the top, that is all you can think about. And you're stuck on it for a hot minute. And then you will see ice cream motif oriented things all day. It's called ambient awareness. I just did this to myself this week. Had a running joke the other day because we were in a hurry to go somewhere to pick up the old Emachan. And I was like, there's 3 lanes. Why would you pick the lane behind the person in the Corolla? Whoever is in the Corolla can't drive. The only people that have a Corolla can't drive, right? They either don't care enough about driving to have a doper car, they are over the age of 60, or they're teenagers who don't have a lot of experience. Never, ever get behind the Corolla. Since that day, every time I've been on the road, I swear to you, I have seen more Corollas than I ever seen before in my life. It is a thing. Every time I am, boop, there's another Corolla making a turn from the wrong lane, stopping unnecessarily in front of me, hard braking. Like that's called ambient awareness. Because I brought that conversation up with strong infliction and strong demand, they have been in my way ever since. Even yesterday, going to the hospital, person in the Corolla decides to drive and turn from 2 lanes over and almost cause an accident. And the person was in the older than Paul range. Probably shouldn't be driving. So it is definitely a thing. Whatever you focus on expands, right? So don't focus on, I'm going to suck, this is going to be hard, this is going to be difficult. Is what it is, right? You must absolutely have a positive mindset. If you don't, you will fail. Period. Point blank. I stand strongly in this. I completely stand strongly in this. Now, another big one is your posture. Now, I'm not saying you have to sit here and be like, hi, I'm Velvet Jones. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to run a proper business. No, you don't have to do that. But you also don't want to come up and be like, yeah, so the ancient Mesopotamians were the very incredible peoples. Like, you don't want to do that either. Like, you want to sit to where your diaphragm has room to do what a diaphragm need to do so that you can properly get these sounds out. You want to be comfortable. Definitely, I sit here elbowed on the table all the time. A lot of times when I'm deep in thought or conversation, I will sit leaning on my arm. And when I'm really, you know, when the subject matter has got me blah, 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 in the head with the little, the hamster with the wheel is like, I am normally doing this. I'm pulling a cheek or pulling a beard hair. That is when I am thinking deeply about whatever the person is talking about. I'll be hand up, and then you'll hear the ASMR beard pulling. That's just a tick of mine. But ancient Mesopotamian underwater basket weaving, correct. Right. So sit with a posture that allows you to be you. But yeah, you just can't slouch. The slouching thing is just not going to come off good on camera. If you're sitting there, you got tension in your shoulder the whole time, that doesn't come off on camera. So you're going to have to go back to bras. Breathe, relax, prepare to articulate and speak. It would just come out, right? If people be having a Zoom meetings laid up in their couch doing whatever, like, no, man, no, that doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Okay, so I want to go back to animate a little bit. I just want to remind you that because I think it has a lot to do with it. I think being able to animate that face a little bit. When someone says something psycho, you need to be like, when someone says something incredible, let the whimsy shine. Like, you need to have a little bit of infliction in your face. Much harder for those of us who are respectable because they can hide it. But you could do things like, what? Like add a little, that's the showmanship, right? don't be over the top. Don't overthink it. But you have to remember to add a little something. Now, you want to see something. When we get to the practice part, this will make sense to you in a second. But if you want to see something, do your practice recordings. Okay. And in your practice recordings, I want you to record the way you normally record. And then I want you to stop the recording. This could be a 15, 20, 30-second recording. I just want you to sit there, crack the mic, no thought, just record. Record 15 seconds. Okay. Now, I want you to stand up, shake it out, whatever that looks like to you. I'm stiff today. Stretch, couple deep breaths. Do like a 30-second box breathe, which is in, hold 4, let it out in 4, hold 4, let it in 4, hold 4. Box breathe for a second, calm down, sit back, turn it on again. Before you open the mouth, smile. And now have that exact same conversation with a smile on your face and watch the 2 recordings back to back. Do one recording the way you just crack the mic and let it out, however you let it out. And then the second one, smile. I know this sounds crazy, but in the DJ booth, whenever we would read a commercial, we had a gigantic piece of tape stuck to the phone booth, which says smiles. And there's a tiny little mirror in the recording booth, right? You know, the box is only this big, you barely fit in there. And you got the little pad all the way around you. And then the microphone is there. You put your headset on, tiny little window to look out, but there's a little wee mirror and a piece of tape that says smile. It sounds completely different when you have your line read with the smile on your face. Okay. If you do the exact same line read, I'm gonna find something to read. This just here, I'll pick up this can of LaCroix and you say, sparkling water, passion fruit, naturally essence. It's completely different from sparkling water, passion fruit, naturally essence. It's the same thing, but something about the smile muscles actually change the inflection of your voice. So smile. And Mrs. Rosen, 6th grade algebra teacher, lady used to piss me off because she would smile at you while she's cursing you out about your algebra. You didn't do all of the problem. You did not show your work. I'm going to have to give you a D today because you did not show your work. How many times must we remind you to show your work? And I'm lady, I'm brilliant. I don't need to show my work. I can do the problem in my head. And then she's like, well, I can't test your head. I go pull a random problem out the sky and I will do it, never touch a piece of chalk, and I will spit out the answer. I'm not cheating. I just do it in my head. I don't need to write it down. And we would fight about this constantly because she swore to God, if you're not writing it down in the steps, you're cheating. I'm like, it's faster for me to do it in my head than it is for me to write it down, right? It's so simple as that. Try that test. Do the test. Sit down, go to your bathroom, crack the mic, do a 15-second read on whatever you want, right? For my homie Yolanda, it's going to be the Ravens and the Chiefs season opener, right? Just sit down, have a 15-second recording about that, and then do the exact same recording with a smile on your face. It is completely different. The people you watch on TV that you want to punch in the face the most, they probably smile while they're talking. Because it's like, how can you be such an a-hole and be grinning about it the whole way? All right. Anyway, so there's that. And then this, one of the last ones I want to bring to you is a little weird at times, but I think it really helps me. When I'm doing a live, it's different. I'm interacting with you guys, completely different conversation. When I'm recording a video like a solo and there's nobody to talk to, I think and I pretend in my head that I'm talking to a single person. Often so much so now when I do my shorts and my reels and stuff, I will actually mention the person's name in the recording. Keep it or not, it doesn't matter, but it's often better to talk to a single person. Number one, it makes the person on the other end feel like they're talking to you. Okay, so I see tons of people still going, hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, kind of, it's better if you don't do that. It's better if you talk to an individual. I'll say creators, right? Or I'll say, hey, creator. And it sounds like I'm talking to a single person. Sitting down and feeling like you're having a conversation with one person that you deeply love is much, much easier. Okay. So back in the day, I used to actually put a legit paper. I had a picture of Jessica Alba's taped to the underneath of my lens. So whenever I was coming to do a recording, I was talking to Jess. Me and Jess was homies. You know what I mean? It could be, I like the Vlog Brothers. Vlog Brothers is the most perfect example of this. They talk to John and Hank. They talk to each other. They're talking to us, but they do their vlogs as "Good morning, Hank," or "Good morning, John," and then they will get into their talk because it feels like they're having a talk with a close person that they love. They're talking to their brother. I do a lot of my recordings saying I'm talking to Mary Lou, or I do a lot of my recordings, like I'm talking to Aubrey, right? I'm today. If I'm doing a recording, I'm talking to Yolanda because football season's coming up, and after kickoff next week, I ain't talking to her until February, or at least till after the game and the Raiders beat the Ravens. Then I'll talk all kind of smack to her, and then she will hide and cower in her little purple closet. Raider Nation. All right, back to the subject they had, right? Again, being able to feel like you're having a conversation with a homie makes a big difference. It really will help you woo-saw it out. So talk to your homie. Like, put a picture over there if you gotta. Feel like you're having a conversation to your homie. It's a lot less creepy than having anybody, which is why, hold up, pump the brakes. Luis, special effects. Here's the reason why we say record your podcast live on YouTube with the live studio audience. Because now I'm not talking to myself. I'm actually see Hank and Gretchen and Will and Paul, Luis, like Aubrey, they're all here, right? So when I'm having these conversations, I'm talking to my homies. I'm not sitting here talking to myself. So in the best chance possible, if you record your podcast live, if nobody is sitting in the live studio audience but your mama, it will come out a lot better than talking to yourself. It's just talking to yourself is extremely hard. It just is. So the last thing I'm going to put on you is, fam, there is nothing to it but to do it. You have got to practice. Yes, AI, we are talking about practice. You have got to practice. There's no way you get good at this without practice. It just doesn't exist. There's no such thing as natural born talent. None of that. That's just BS. You've got to practice. Why are little kids so good on camera most of the time? Nobody told them that they shy yet. Roll up on this small kid and put them on camera. They would do their thing. That Steve Harvey show, about young superstars, they're just brilliant. They're brilliant because nobody told them to be scared yet. So you literally, really just have to go in and do this. You've got to practice. So I'm going to back this up. I'm going to give you the rundown really quickly this time because I made little notes. See, I wrote it down here. I'm going to give you the rundown real quickly again. So here's your list. They're not in any particular order. Every single one of these is important. I don't want to say any one is more important than the other. These are all important. And if you can only do 3 at a time, fine. You will eventually get to where all of these things just come to you. They will be muscle memory. They will be second nature. Okay, so here's the list. Those things actually work, by the way. No one does that for the fun of it. It actually does work. Okay, first of all, let's start with, if you don't know your topic, you're going to have a hard time. Even if you are coming in as a beginner, put yourself in the role of the beginner and live there with full confidence. I know jack about fountain pens. I am sort of brand new to this, but I am all in. Thank you, Aubrey. And so as I'm going through learning my fountain pen journey, I'm going in with the curiosity of an 8-year-old. So that in itself is knowing my topic, right? Know your topic. If you're wishy-washy on your topic, like if you're trying to punch above your weight, so to speak, it's not going to work. It's just going to really feel weird. It's going to feel fake. It's going to feel placasent. There's a whole bunch of things. You don't want to do that. So know your topic. Command your voice. What do I mean by command your voice? We're going to add a little style. We're going to add a little bit of tone. We're going to add a little bit of pitch. And we're going to add a little just pace. Slow it down. Speed it up. Slow it down. You're going to control your voice. You're going to add a little. Here's the thing. If you look at the greatest, right? I'm going to give you the top 3. I'm going to give you the top. The list is ever evolving, but I'm going to just give you top 3. Biggie, M, Tip, right? One thing that they did very well is they changed the pace. They changed the pace that wasn't a standard pentameter. It wasn't a standard on beat pentameter. They all rhymed off beat. And that alone made them stick out more than anybody else, because up until, not really up until, but before Biggie, most thing was da-dun, 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 da-dun. Very common. Biggie came in with live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the livest one, representing BK to the fullest, right? The beat would be here, he's over here, the word does not fit in the beat. That, some of the best. If you look at the best, if you go down the list, in your head, right now, pull your top 5. I'm not even going to argue with you about it. If you got Yee in your top 5, I will hurt you. The hell with that dude. But pull your top 5 and listen to them and notice that they don't tend to end on beat. They start phrases in middle of the beat, right? Just so you know that. That's changing your pentameter so that it works, right? Yes, Trevor goes on the list. He's in the top 5 for sure. Torah. Okay, I'm doing this live. I'm not paying attention to the audience. I'm ignoring them. Anyway, so I want to say confidence. Yo, it matters. It shouldn't, but it does. And one of the things that can lift your confidence is definitely having your setups correct. If you have a good mic, if you got a good camera, you got good lighting, you just feel better about it. And so you just come in and you do their thing. I know this is not something where everybody can start, and it's okay. You can make up for it with style and grace. But when you have your light game straight up, you got your mic game straight up, your camera game straight up, you sit down in your spot and you're like, I am ready to go. And it just comes out. So when and where you can bless up those things, it will definitely give you a little boost of confidence. Now, I want to say there's no such thing as like getting more confident on camera. It's a switch, bro. Turn it on, turn it off. You either I'm good at this, or you sit there and suffer in your mindset that you suck at this. If you have in your mindset you suck at this, you suck at this, right? You have to have a positive mindset. That is deep on the list. You got to have a positive mindset. Remember the Braz method. Breathe, relax, be prepared to articulate in speech. Control your breathing, compose your thoughts, and whenever necessary, take a beat. Like legit, just like hold that thought. Okay, yeah, so now I'm ready to let me go ahead and explain this to you. Those things come off very well on camera. Like, it is absolutely okay to take a beat. It is okay to stop for a second and let it marinate. I often, talking about controlling pitch, you'll find out 9 times out of 10, when I hit you with something hardcore, I hit you with something deep, that I let it marinate. I always let it marinate. Right? So at the end of this list, I'm going to hit you with something deep, and then I'm going to let it marinate, and it will just come out automatically, and you'll probably forget that I said this. But before the show is over, I'm going to hit you with a deep one, and then watch what happens. Watch how I deliver the deep messages at all times. You go back to any of my old recordings, whenever I deliver a deep message, I'm going to let that joint marinate. You must. It's necessary, right? So don't be afraid to take a beat. It is okay. In a negotiation, when you get to the part about closing the deal, he who speaks first loses. Next time you're negotiating with the other half about, buying this vacation thing or doing this, something like that, boom, you're going to see that. Okay, so you got to have the positive mindset. You want to work in your posture. Like, I'm not asking you to sit there like a stiff, but, try to get comfortable in your seat. If your seat is uncomfortable, you're going to have a hard time. Look, get yourself a good seat, sit there, be in a position where you're not compressing your diaphragm. If you compress your diaphragm, it does affect your ability to speak. It affects your ability to breathe. So You want to give your diaphragm some space. You want to kind of be there. And then, you want to run with that. Okay. And then let's add a little bit of personality to that face. Like, don't get in here and be like, hi, I'm Velvet Jones. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my brand new book. Like, no, you want to add a little something. And you can start with just smile. Crack a smile and have a conversation with your people, and it's going to be good. Now, let's say, what if you're talking about something solemn and you can't necessarily smile? Then care. Put on your caring face and care. People, I want to absolutely make sure that nobody goes broke over the next 5 years. I'm going to tell you today how to put your money in a position so that you don't go broke over the next 5 years. Here's some very important things we're going to look at. We're going to look out for you. We're going to look out for your family. Having a caring smile, a caring face, just is helpful. But try to add, don't be stiff. Do not be stiff. And practice. You will get good at it. It just will come to you. It will come to you. It will take some time. It will come to you. Now, again, your nervousness, that's confidence. And that confidence comes from knowing your subject. When you know what you're talking about, you probably ain't nervous about it. You know, pull up on somebody that knows what they're talking about. Like, pull up on Luis and start talking to him about stand-up comedy. There won't be any slouching. There won't be any, oh, give me a second, blase, blah, none of that. Like, yeah. So that's it. Like, that's my on-camera presence. Know your topic, command your voice. Get your setup straight. Breathe, relax, articulate, speak. Positive mindset, control your posture, add a little style and grace to your face, add a little tone, pitch, flicks, and addiction to your conversation when you're talking, and then talk to one person. So, and the way you practice is record it, watch yourself, repeat. Record it, watch yourself, repeat. Try different positions. Try standing up. Try sitting down. Try smiling before. Try watching comedy before you record. Try watching comedy before you record. Try watching something funny before you record. Try not to have a conversation with a tough phone call before you crack the mic. Sometimes it's going to come up, but this is when you hit switch. Let's go. Do not do Sunday radio voice. Today, welcome to the Alphabet Broadcasting System. Don't do that. The reason why you don't want to do that, when people see you real life at a conference, you don't sound like that. You look like a dick. Second of all, you don't want to have that to where you do have an off day where everybody can feel it, right? Now, what you probably don't notice other than the way I sound, I am sick as a dog right now. But I turn that crap off. I come over here and I do the show. And then I'm going to immediately finish this. Go upstairs, relax for like an hour, drink some hot tea, come right back and do another show. And then I'm going to go back to bed. But when you got it locked in, you're able to just switch it on, switch it off. That's it. That is your camera presence in a nutshell. And this has been The Flow. Now, if you want to find out more about The Flow, you can find us every single week right here, live on YouTube, recording this show. And you go to flow.ecamm.com. This is where you can leave us feedback. You can subscribe to the show. You can add it to your YouTube list, your Spotify list, your Apple list, wherever you want to be. This is how you get yourself connected with The Flow. But by all means, leave us questions, leave us comments, leave us feedback. You can even leave us voicemail all over there on flow.ecamm.com. This show is recorded every week live on YouTube and brought to you by Captivate. As soon as we record this show, I send these files over to Luis. Luis chop it up like he chopping broccoli. And then the next week, we issue it live in the podcast space, basically using Captivate. Is one of the best podcast hosts in the game. They come at you with a growth mindset. So having a podcast platform that really focuses on growth is a good way to help you grow your show. So big ups to Captivate. You can find out more about them at Captivate FM. That's CAPTIVATE.FM. Like, now I won't say what the FM stands for. Anyway, you can check out Captivate, and thanks to them for allowing us to do this fancy show. That's it. That's it. So what we're going to do now is dip into the live studio audience. Everybody who's watching this on YouTube, YouTube is going to show you a couple of videos that they think you should watch. You know I agree with them. So check those out. And you have been in the flow. You know what we do. We finish this with our Flow Rider Live crew. We say, Flow Riders, out. All right, quick Q&A. I saw one question. People, if I'm talking about X, don't ask me a question about Y. My brain is gone. I am all of a sudden trying to answer your question that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I have that problem. Anyway, going back to Will, eons ago, put your lights above your eyes at 45 degrees and you're fine. If you look up, they're there. If you don't look up, they're not there. So 45 degrees just above your head. Wherever your biggest lean back is, that's where. The other thing, buy glasses that don't suck. Like they're there, but not. And then I use a diffuser. If you got small little tiny lights, that's hard to get rid of. If you got these y'all know I can't stand these things, but you know what I mean? If you got these on the corner of your desk, they're gonna be in your glasses. These are not very good lights. You know what I'm talking about. I won't call them out by name. You know what they are. I'm learning to stop talking about them. They're good for look, but they're not good for everything else, right? They look good on the desk. They do kind of light your face to a certain extent, but they're hard to get rid of things like that control, because if you put them high enough where they don't affect your glasses, they're not strong enough. And yeah, if you got a small space, that's all you got. That's all you got. Now, let's go back to the other thing. Will and I have had this conversation, so I'm going to have it again. Okay? Will, are you listening? I want to know that you're listening. Okay? I want you to lean all the way in. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This goes back to the topic today of know your topic. If you are delivering the value, okay, I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna do something crazy. Let me see. Can I do this? Let me do something crazy. Because I said to you, I was gonna tell you something valid and important. Here's the thing that you must absolutely keep in mind. Success lives between the stimulus and the outcome. Success lives in between there. How you react to the stimulus is where the success lives. So if the stimulus is, I'll use football as an analogy. If the stimulus is the defensive back came across the middle and basically slapped you in the face mask before you caught the ball, and you was like, all right, then, I see how you want to be. And then you went back to your huddle and you said, I'm going to run the skinny post, hit me on the next play. And you dust that fool and you score, that's successful. If the DB slaps you in the face mask and you turn around and slap him back and the referee sees that, you get thrown out of the game. So the stimulus is the same. Your reaction to that stimulus is a difference between succeeding and failing. If the stimulus is, I need to get home, but you realize you got about 40 beers in you and you call an Uber, you get home. It's going to cost you $200 for overnight parking. It's going to cost you $40 for the Uber, but you live. Nobody else died. No $10,000 DUI. You didn't kill anyone. You just wasted $240. That's a success. If you decide I need to get home and you done had them 40 beers and you jump in the whip and you crash and you kill yourself or somebody else or get a DUI, ruin your life, get fired from your job, spouse leaves you, kids hate you, other family sues you for everything you got. You saved $240. You ruined your life. Success lives between the stimulus and the outcome. It's the reaction in the middle. How you react to the stimulus is where you succeed. Now, even with this stupid ass green light in my face and my teeth is green and shining on my eyeballs, that message is exactly the same. Nothing changed about that message. Not anything. Stop majoring in the minor. Deliver what you need to deliver. Nobody is watching the video going, I can't watch this because the dude has a reflection in his glasses. Now, if you're talking wolf, not my show, Ecamm show, if you're talking crap and you don't have a point and you're meandering and you're flipping off and you're just talking out the side of your neck, yeah, maybe no one's going to watch that. But if you are delivering the goods, I mean, abso-freaking-lutely delivering the goods, nobody freaking cares about the light in your glasses. That's it. Stop majoring in the minor. You want to know a way to hold a person's attention, even if you have no choice but to have that light in your glasses? Know your topic. Speak with authority. Speak with confidence. Speak like you know what you're talking about. Bring some level of value to the table. Don't introduce yourself. Turn on the video. Go straight to giving the people what they came for. Answer their questions. Deliver them a painkiller. Deliver them a vitamin. A painkiller solves their problems. A vitamin helps them grow. If you deliver all of the goods, nobody give a damn about the light in your glasses. Bingo! I'm out. Love you guys. I will see y'all in an hour on my show. Thanks, Luis. Roll